The morning sun cast long shadows across the empty lot where Maria Santos had once dreamed of building a home. For 3 years, this patch of earth had been her family's entire world. A place where hope battled against the harsh reality of living in a makeshift tent with her 2 young children, 8-year-old Elena and 5-year-old Carlos. Maria's story began with tragedy. A devastating house fire had consumed everything her family owned, leaving them with nothing but the clothes on their backs and a determination to rebuild. Her husband Miguel worked tirelessly at 2 jobs, construction during the day and cleaning office buildings at night. But the mounting costs of rent, food, and childcare made saving for a new home seem impossible. What Maria did not know was that her story had quietly reached the heart of someone who would change everything. Dr. Sarah Chen, a successful pediatric surgeon, had been driving through the neighborhood when she noticed the small family's tent set up. Something about the sight of children's drawings taped to the tent walls and a small garden of potted plants arranged carefully around their makeshift home struck her deeply. These weren't just people experiencing homelessness. This was a family creating beauty and hope in the midst of despair. That evening, Sarah couldn't shake the image from her mind. She researched the family situation through local community organizations and learned about their tragic circumstances. Miguel's work ethic was legendary among local contractors, and Maria had been a devoted teacher before losing everything. Their children, despite their circumstances, were thriving academically and known throughout the community for their kindness and resilience. Sarah made a decision that would ripple through hundreds of lives. She would not just help this family. She would rally an entire community to create something extraordinary. Her first call was to her brother, James Chen, a renowned architect who had designed luxury homes for celebrities and business moguls. "James," she said, "I need you to design the most beautiful, functional family home you've ever created. And I need you to do it for free." Without hesitation, James agreed. Within a week, he had crafted architectural plans for a stunning 1,800-square-foot home with 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, an open-concept living area, and a wraparound porch that would give the children space to play safely. The design incorporated sustainable materials, energy-efficient systems, and thoughtful touches that would make the house not just shelter, but a true sanctuary. But Sarah's vision extended far beyond architecture. She reached out to her hospital colleagues, posting the family's story on social media with a simple message. "What if we could change everything for one family? What if we could show that love builds stronger foundations than any material?" The response was overwhelming. Dr. Amanda Rodriguez, a colleague from the emergency department, immediately pledged to cover all plumbing costs. Nurse practitioner Michael Thompson organized his entire department to handle electrical work. Dr. Patricia Williams, who had grown up in poverty herself, committed to furnishing the entire home. Word spread like wildfire through the medical community and beyond. Local business owners who had heard about the project through social media began offering their services. Tony Marcelli, owner of Marcelli's Italian restaurant, organized daily meal deliveries for all volunteers. Lisa Park, who owned a high-end interior design firm, volunteered to create a home that would rival any luxury magazine spread. The transformation began on a crisp Saturday morning in October. What started as a gathering of 20 volunteers quickly swelled to over 200 people from all walks of life. Contractors worked alongside teachers, doctors hammered nails next to students, and retirees shared decades of wisdom with young professionals learning their first construction skills. Maria and her family watched in absolute amazement as their dream took shape before their eyes. Miguel, initially overwhelmed by the generosity, soon found himself working alongside the volunteers. His expertise invaluable in guiding the construction process. Elena and Carlos became the project's unofficial mascots, their laughter and excitement energizing everyone who worked on their future home. The construction became a masterclass in human coordination and love. Local news stations began covering the story, which attracted even more volunteers and donations. A luxury tile company donated Italian marble for the kitchen. A high-end appliance manufacturer provided state-of-the-art equipment. A famous landscape architect created beautiful gardens that would provide both beauty and fresh vegetables for the family. But perhaps the most glamorous moment came when Isabella Rodriguez, an internationally renowned interior designer who had worked with A-list celebrities, saw the news coverage and flew in from Los Angeles specifically to contribute. She spent 3 days creating magazine-worthy interiors, complete with custom furniture, original artwork, and thoughtful details that reflected the family's heritage and dreams. "I've designed homes worth millions of dollars," Isabella said, tears streaming down her face as she put the finishing touches on Elena's bedroom. "But I've never created anything more meaningful than this." The attention brought unexpected celebrity support. Local sports heroes visited the construction site, inspiring volunteers and bringing media attention that spread the story nationally. A famous musician held an impromptu concert on the construction site, raising additional funds for the family's long-term stability. As the house neared completion, something magical was happening beyond the construction. The community that had gathered to build a home was building something equally valuable: lasting friendships, professional networks, and a shared understanding of what becomes possible when people unite around love and generosity. Dr. Sarah Chen found herself partnering with several volunteers to establish a permanent foundation dedicated to helping families rebuild after disasters. James discovered a new passion for affordable housing architecture. Dozens of volunteers reported that the experience had changed their perspectives on community service and social responsibility. The house dedication ceremony took place on a golden December afternoon. Over 500 people gathered to witness the Santos family receive the keys to their new home. Maria, overwhelmed with gratitude, addressed the crowd with words that would be remembered long after the event ended. "You didn't just build us a house," she said, her voice strong despite her tears. "You built us a future. You built our children's dreams. You showed us that in a world that can sometimes feel cold and disconnected, there are still people who believe in the power of love to transform lives." The house itself was a masterpiece. Gleaming hardwood floors reflected natural light streaming through energy. Efficient windows, the kitchen featured professional-grade appliances and a large island perfect for family meals and homework sessions. Each bedroom was thoughtfully designed to reflect the children's personalities. Elena's room featured a reading nook with built-in bookshelves, while Carlos's room included a small art studio area where he could explore his passion for drawing. The master bedroom included a walk-in closet and ensuite bathroom that felt like a luxury hotel suite. The living areas flowed seamlessly together, creating spaces perfect for both intimate family moments and larger gatherings. Outside, the wraparound porch overlooked carefully planned gardens and a safe play area for the children. But beyond its physical beauty, the home represented something profound about human nature. Every nail driven, every wall painted, every flower planted had been an act of love from people who had never met the Santos family before the project began. The house stood as living proof that strangers can become family when united by compassion and purpose. In the months that followed, the impact continued to expand. Miguel was offered a supervisory position with one of the construction companies that had volunteered on the project. Maria returned to teaching, her experience inspiring her to create new programs helping students from disadvantaged backgrounds. Elena and Carlos thrived academically and emotionally, their story inspiring classmates to organize their own community service projects. The volunteer network that had built the Santos home continued meeting monthly, taking on new projects and supporting other families in need. What had started as a single act of kindness had evolved into a sustainable movement of community support and mutual aid. Dr. Sarah Chen often drove by the Santos home on her way to work, never failing to smile at the sight of children's bicycles on the porch and the sound of laughter drifting from the backyard. The house had become more than shelter. It had become a symbol of what becomes possible when people choose love over indifference, action over helplessness. The story spread internationally through social media and news coverage, inspiring similar projects in dozens of other communities. The Santos Home Project became a case study in business schools, medical programs, and social work curricula. It's demonstrating how grassroots organizing and community mobilization can address complex social challenges. Years later, Alina would often tell her friends about the day hundreds of strangers came together to build her family's dream. But the lesson she carried wasn't just about the generosity of others. It was about the power each person holds to make a difference in someone else's life. The Santos family's story became a testament to an eternal truth, that in our interconnected world, no one has to face their struggles alone. When people choose to see beyond their own circumstances and extend their hands to lift others, they don't just change individual lives, they transform entire communities and remind us all of the very best of human nature. The house still stands today, filled with laughter, dreams, and the echoes of the love that built it. And sometimes, when the afternoon light hits the windows just right, you can almost see the spirits of all those who contributed their time, skills, and hearts to create something beautiful from nothing more than compassion and hope. Like and subscribe for more videos.